Matrixx and Rhodes show fans, we are back with another video. We're going to be talking about Interview with the Vampire. As you guys know, I did a video a while back on this, and I really haven't done a follow-up video on this. Interview with the Vampire is going to be a TV series. Now, when I found out about this show, I was kind of excited because Anne Rice at the time was actually involved in the project. Unfortunately, Anne Rice passed away. And now we're starting to get a little bit more details about this show, and some of this stuff is kind of old folks, and I must say, I am concerned. I am extremely concerned. Now, I've read Interview with the Vampire, the book, many times. Anne Rice was my favorite author of all time. Rest in peace. This is concerning, folks. Now, we got a little bit of a tease for the AMC streaming service, and it had like a clip of Lestat, played by Sam Reed. Very, very little, not much. He looks to be like, it seems like he can actually pull off Lestat just based on the look. Don't know about the acting, okay? Don't know about that. But the rest of the show seems to be a woke disaster, to tell you the truth. And honestly, based on these first looks that we have, I'm concerned about this because I read the book. Check this out. First look at Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire on AMC, created for a modern audience. Now, that is really concerning right there, because they're going to be changing a whole bunch of things here. Now, this is Sam Reed right here on the left as Lestat. He does have the blonde hair. Now, Jacob Anderson from Game of Thrones is playing Louis. I got a problem with this. Why did they race swap Louis? Louis is supposed to be a plantation owner outside of New Orleans, and they got a black guy to play him. Now, I know that we're living in woke times now, but I'm definitely more of a purist when it actually comes to Anne Rice's work. Now, I know in the movie in 1994, they took some liberties there. For one thing, Claudia is supposed to be like 5 years old. We're going to talk about Claudia also. But for that role, they got Kirsten Dunst to play that role. I believe she was 12 at the time. And you really needed an older actress to play that role, because as time passes on, Claudia matures more, but she's still in the body of a young 5-year-old. So you needed an older actress that was still a child actor to pull that off. But these pictures here, guys, look at this. This is supposed to be Louis right here. And honestly, folks, based on that dress, this looks to be like in the 1920s. Now, if you guys did not read the book, Louis and Lestat, they did part ways. And in the movie, they said that Armand invited Louis to stay with him, and he declined. But that's not the case in the book. Louis and Armand actually were together. But around the 1920s, Louis finds Lestat living kind of a decadent life, not adapting to the times. They didn't hang out like this. So I'm assuming this is like the 1920s here, based on their dress. This looks like, what do they call that era of the 1920s? The Roaring 20s or something like that? They weren't hanging out. And Lestat actually went to sleep for like, I want to say 60, 70 years. And he wakes up in the 1980s because he hears rock music while he's sleeping, and he becomes a rock star. This doesn't seem to be very faithful to the book to me. It doesn't. Yeah, this is definitely, I don't know, I don't want to call it a zoot suit or anything like that, but you could tell by the cars. This is not accurate to the book. Now, that's the pictures of the first look, but also I found some other stuff here that's concerning as well. Check this out. Eric Bogosian joins Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. Now, this is from March, about 3 weeks ago. This man right here, guess who he's playing? He is playing Daniel Molly, the reporter who actually interviews the vampire, Louis. Folks, he is way too old to play this role. Daniel is like a 20-year-old in the book. Now, Christian Slater played him in the movie, and he was young. They got an old man to play this role. Why are they doing this? Why couldn't they stick to the lore? It gets even worse, folks. Check this out. Avatar 2 actress Bailey Bass to play Claudia on AMC's Interview with the Vampire series. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Bailey Bass, no offense to her, that's her right there. She looks nothing like Claudia. Claudia is supposed to be a 5-year-old, and guess what? This actress is in her 20s. They got a 20-year-old, at least 20, I don't know exactly how old she is, to play a 5-year-old. And they race swapped her. Claudia is supposed to look like a doll, have curly blonde hair. Why are you doing this? It gets back to this, folks. A modern audience. I was excited about this, but not anymore. These pictures here just tell me this is going to be a woke disaster. I love the Vampire Chronicle books. The first 5 books in that series were actually the Vampire Chronicles, and then later on, Anne Rice goes and writes other books. Lives of the Mayfair Witches, they're actually making a series on that. I believe that Alexander Daddario is actually going to be in that. This is disturbing, folks. This is disturbing. This is not true to the lore whatsoever. No offense to Jacob Anderson. That's not Louis. No offense to Bailey Bass. She is way too old to play Claudia. Sam Reed may be the only one that they got right, because at least he looks like Lestat. Now, who are they going to get to play Armand? Now, Antonio Banderas played Armand in the movie. He was like 30, 34 or something. Now, if you read the books, Armand is like in the body of a 16-year-old. So he's supposed to be very, very young. I'm extremely concerned, folks, but that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matrixx and Rhodes show fans, if you read the books, how concerned are you about this show? It looks to be an unmitigated disaster, a woke mess, and I'm not liking this. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.